The penny is basically a tiny, ageless vagabond. It started out in ancient Rome as a denarius, bounced around a little bit, showed up in medieval Europe, crossed the Atlantic by hitching a ride with Britain, and showed up in 1792 as one of America's very first coins. Its reception in the US, however, was problematic. Immediately, it started causing drama by being huge, kind of creepy looking, and accidentally symbolic of slavery. Over the next 2 centuries, it shrank, swapped liberty for Lincoln, and outlived every other discontinued US coin.
Would you note it's estimated about 300 billion pennies are still in circulation, many of them likely hiding in your couch cushions.
They've stubbornly stuck around even as it began costing more than 3 cents to make. Now, after years of political side-eye and a final burst of bureaucratic efficiency, the penny has stopped being minted, meaning it's not dead quite yet, but it's finally, slowly rounding its way into history. Maybe. There are people who think the penny is for sure not dead and will absolutely make a comeback. And then there are people who think the penny is for sure dead and will definitely not make a comeback. We're going to go over both perspectives today, one at a time, starting with the keep the penny side. Boop. Perspective number 1. Preserving the penny keeps consumer prices down and avoids harming low-income households. If you get rid of the penny, you have to start rounding to the nearest nickel. That will only hurt working families every time they go to buy a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread. Or that thing you were supposed to get at the store but didn't because you forgot, and then you got home and you didn't realize you had forgotten it until you started cooking and you were going to have to go back to the store and you realized, fuck! If you are low income or minority, you are more likely to use cash when buying things. Raymond Lombra is a professor of economics at Penn State. The extra rounding charges would be regressive, affecting the poor and other disadvantaged people groups disproportionately.
Let's say that you go to a store and the cost is $5.53. You're paying in cash.
Yep.
What do you tell the customer?
So right now, the vast majority of our members are going to round that up to the nearest nickels.
There was a study that found that rounding the penny in Canada cost consumers an estimated equivalent of $2.5 million annually. Forbes reports that only 7% of US purchases are made with cash, which means the people without access to digital currency are going to be disproportionately affected by the loss of the penny. Made any purchases with cash recently? Perspective number 2. A penny can be used for decades and is more cost efficient to produce than a nickel. Most US coins spend decades circulating, being used thousands or even millions of times. From that perspective, costing more than their face value to make doesn't look so much like a waste as an investment. Eliminating the penny would mean the US Mint would have to make and distribute a lot more nickels. That would end up costing millions more each year than just continuing to mint the penny like we already do. Would you rather spend millions to keep things the same, or a lot more millions to change things slightly? Perspective number 3. Pennies raise money for charities. The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Salvation Army, and the Ronald McDonald House have all long relied on penny donations to fund their work. In 2009, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society reported that students alone had gathered more than 15 billion pennies for blood cancer research and treatment. That comes out to $150 million from pennies alone. The nonprofit Good Sense for Oakland said, "Pennies are easy to ask for, and they are easy to give. It's very easy for a child to say, 'Will you help me support this nonprofit? Will you give me your pennies?' And I mean, look how cute they are. Who could say no to that face?" You know, in hindsight, it might have been a mistake to Photoshop him to make him cuter. The Common Sense nonprofit based in Dallas runs a Pennies from the Heart program each year. Over the last 20 years, students have raised over $850,000 for the local charities around them. The Ms. Cheap Penny Drive paid for over 300,000 meals for the hungry in the year 2017. That was my last keep perspective. Before we continue with the discard perspectives, it's time for a brief history of the penny and its place in this discussion. Just set that there for now. The US penny has been minted continuously since the 1790s and has quietly traced the everyday transactions of American life for more than 2 centuries. Its most famous design change came in 1709 when Lincoln replaced Lady Liberty. That made him the first US president to appear on a circulating coin. Over the years, the penny has become less of a symbol of artistry or national identity and more a constant companion in wallets, cash registers, and coin jars. Despite its familiarity, the penny is, hey, what the heck do you think you're doing? Freaking Bob's these days, man. As I was saying, despite its familiarity, the penny has gradually become a financial burden. By the 21st century, producing a single penny cost more than its face value. And yet, legislative attempts to eliminate it have repeatedly failed. It remained the most common coin in circulation. A stubborn artifact of tradition that's practical use has declined as fewer transactions rely on physical money. And now, in 2025, the era of the penny has finally, maybe, come to an end. The Treasury placed its last order for penny blanks in May 2025, and then on November 12th of that same year, the final penny was struck, officially ending its production. Though billions remain in circulation and will linger for years, the decision marked the close of a chapter in American history that is 232 years long. Americans will have the chance to slowly, gradually say goodbye to the smallest yet perhaps most persistent piece of their monetary history. By the way, I'm trying to do this impartially to give both perspectives a fair chance, so if by the end of this video you don't know where I stand and you feel like I have done a good job being impartial, a like on the video would be very nice. Brief history over. Time for the get rid of it option. Chicka-pow. Perspective number 1. The penny has practically no value and should be taken out of circulation, just as other coins have been in US history.
But dropping the penny will create a greater need for nickels, which are a more expensive coin to mint.
There is nothing you can buy for a penny. There's barely even anything you can buy for $1 these days. Vending machines, parking meters, grandchildren, not penny friendly. Harvard economist Greg Mankiw states, "The purpose of the monetary system is to facilitate exchange. The penny no longer serves that purpose. The value of the penny has shrunk to such a small amount that you might actually be losing money if you stop to pick one up off the sidewalk." Lots of Americans have admitted to regularly throwing pennies out with the trash. That means that the US is spending millions to make something that is literally just trash to most people. I wonder if junk mail providers are ever going to realize the same thing. Perspective number 2. The process of making pennies is costly both financially and environmentally.
It cost the United States Mint 1.7 cents to make a penny, which means that every year $70 million of federal tax money goes to subsidizing the existence of the penny.
This was filmed a couple years ago. By 2024, it cost 3.69 cents to make a coin worth 1 cent. That's the 19th straight year that the mint was basically paying people to take pennies off its hands. And nickels fared even worse, coming in at nearly 14 cents a pop. Altogether, the mint spent $179 million in 2023. Forbes reported that pennies alone had cost taxpayers a staggering $250 million over the previous 2 years. The process of mining, transporting, and making pennies also has environmental ramifications. We're talking pollutants, emissions, wasted energy resources. Serious question though. Do pennies get more or less toxic after going through a toddler? 107 million pounds of CO2 have been put into the atmosphere just from delivery trucks alone over the past 35 years. Perspective number 3. Eliminating pennies would save time at the point of purchase without hurting customers or charities while saving the country millions of dollars. This one feels a little long-winded to me. Nobody has got time to wait for counting pennies when you're buying things. The average person that still pays with pennies wastes around 12 minutes a year digging for them. Ever heard the saying, time is money? Economists tell us this time wasted costs the US around $1 billion annually. And that's not a figurative billion. This time wasted also adds up to around 120 million hours of employee time that could have been spent elsewhere. From the store's perspective, rounding to the nearest nickel is the better option for everyone. Economists that have crunched the numbers tell us that basically everyone breaks even after rounding. Do you feel like you would be better off if the stores rounded up to the nearest nickel anytime you bought things?
The US is now saying goodbye to the penny. The last one was minted yesterday. For Canada, it's been more than 10 years.
The physical penny was eliminated in Canada in 2013, while the digital cent was kept. Canadians appeared to have adjusted well to the change. Remember how the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was collecting pennies? Well, they told the press that soliciting donations in the forms of roundups and add-ons to credit card transactions has proved much more lucrative than coin gathering ever did. The elimination of the penny would have little to no impact on inflation, while customers and clerks save large amounts of time. The millions that would be saved could be reallocated to better things. Proper reallocation of funds would be in the best interest of everyone. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. And that's the end of the perspectives I have on the penny and its usefulness. If you have any thoughts on this topic or you saw something I missed, please feel free to throw it at me in the comments. As for my own personal opinion on this topic, nostalgia aside, we should probably let the penny retire. Maybe give it a nice cushy ranch to settle down on as a thank you for its years of service. If you didn't know that up till this point, now is the time to like the video. If you are already subscribed, you are a happy penny in a coin collection somewhere, and if not, you are a sad penny in a landfill. As always, keep your towel close, your friends closer, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.